Two things are going to come out of this podcast. One, we're going to be canceled, and two, we're probably going to get divorced from our wives.
So fucking inappropriate. So fucking inappropriate.
It's like crying, just jerking and don't feel hard. What the fuck? Jerking and don't feel hard. Jerking and don't feel hard.
So fucking inappropriate.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's time again for that top 10 list you don't give a fuck about by two guys you really don't give a fuck about.
So who's sponsoring today's show, Matthew?
Today's show is sponsored by Diddy Daycare. That's right, Diddy Daycare. Drop your kids off for a fun-filled day of trauma that they may never recover from. Requires a waiver and 2 legal consenting adults. That's right. We do have a small disclaimer here from our sponsor today. Due to legal troubles, Diddy Daycare now has a serious lack of Diddy.
Also, if you bring your own bottle of lube, you get $9.99 off.
Oh, yeah. Check out the coupon. It's a slick coupon. It slides right in there, and it saves you an additional $10 on your fee of $789.99 per week.
Top 10 ways you would like to die.
Not in a Diddy Daycare.
Yeah, not the Diddy Daycare. No, that's this week's episode is
Celebrity appearances may happen.
top 10 ways that you would like to die, and this is another recommended by Jay. Not recommended. What's the word I'm looking for? Suggested. Yeah,
Suggested.
another suggestion by Jay. What's Jay's last name? Can we say that?
Bennett, I believe.
Jay Bennett, you believe?
Bennett. I'm pretty sure, yeah, it's Bennett.
Okay.
I don't see his lock screen very often, but it is Bennett.
All right. So top 10 ways that you would like to die.
And Jay's not his full name. That's just what we call him.
Is it really? What's his full name?
I don't know if he wants to say that on the podcast.
Okay,
but it's just not. It's not as. Yeah, I mean, I always just thought it was Jay, J-A-Y. It's not. It's just Jay is the first initial of his first name.
Okay.
I mean, heck, when I was introduced to Jay, it was, hey, this is Jay. I'm like, oh, cool, Jay.
Yeah,
I mean,
I just
just kind of assumed that's what it was. And then I remember seeing his lock screen one day. I was like, are you serious? He's like, yeah, why? I'm like, everyone just calls me Jay. I'm like, I mean, it's cool. But, yeah.
All right. We talk about Jay a lot on this podcast lately.
Jay's a good dude. I love Jay, man.
We are definitely going to have to make that happen. He needs to be on.
We're trying to get Jay on the podcast.
Our first guest.
And just sit and bullshit. Because Jay's fun. Jay will ask some. He will literally come up with some of the most interesting questions I've ever been asked on a whim. That I'm pretty sure is not a whim for him. But yeah, Jay is a guy I work with in my department, and it's always a lot of fun just hanging out and talking with Jay. We bullshit and we give each other a hard time constantly. It feels like, but honestly, it's one of those things where you wouldn't have it any other way. And there's just you always look forward to what absolute messed up conversation you're gonna get into. Because I mean, there have been times we've been having this conversation that is so far down a rabbit hole and off in left field that customers walk in and we all just instantly go silent and. Like, there's glass doors they walk in so they can see us having a conversation. And then as soon as they walk in, we just instantly go quiet because there's no way we're explaining that to anybody if it comes up. And, you have the customer kind of look at you all like, did I interrupt something? No, man, come in and get your shit. You're all good. Like, I'm not talking about how we know that the human anus can stretch up to 7 inches in diameter. It's just, Another study brought to you by Sheen Study Group, specializing in anal
Sheen
studies
with the comeback.
across the globe.
Okay. To sum that up, though, Jay is perfect for this podcast. We need to get him on.
I think Jay would be fucking hilarious.
Let's get into this episode, the top 10 ways you would like to die. So when I was thinking about this, which, by the way, I know you did too, I didn't even do this list until last night when I got off of work. But I still put thought into it. And I was like, every one of mine kind of ends the same way. Like, dying. So I approached it a little differently to give it more more substance, I guess you can say.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So my top 3 are legitimate ways that if I'm going to die, I would like to go out that way. My 4 through 10 are just made up, if like movie related. Because one of the things when I was younger, I still really I want to be an actor. Like, I never said I'd be like, yeah, I want to be an actor when I grow up. But I always liked acting. I took acting class when I was in high school. I've actually made some short films and that kind of thing. I went to UC for electronic media production, or communication is what they called it. So that's where I learned to edit and photography and all that shit, graphic design. Well, I also did some acting there. So I like to act. So what I'm saying is 7 of my things are basically movie related, how I would die in a movie kind of thing. So yours is probably nothing like that.
So no, my top 2 would be the 2 ways I would acceptably want to go out.
Okay.
Which very, very, very slim chance I'm going to go out either of these 2 ways. But if I had to make a choice, it would be one of these 2 scenarios would be the way I want to go out, right?
Okay. Yeah.
One of them is a joke that I tell my kids, and the other one is not a joke, but it probably won't happen. Yeah. Anyway,
Okay. All right. So your top 2 are legit. My top 3 are legit. And then
oddly enough, one of those top 2 is a line from a movie or TV show.
we still got a ways to go
Show.
to get to the top 2. So I'll just go ahead and start.
Stay tuned and listen.
My number 10. Familiar with Marvel movies?
Yes.
Okay. Are you familiar with Endgame?
Yes.
What happens in Endgame? Most
Well, the
significant
game
thing
comes to an end.
with a Thanos snap,
And-
right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
So that is
so-
the Avengers Endgame, right? Yeah.
So listen to the whole story here, okay? So this Thanos snap, right? While that's happening, while he's doing his snap, and it's showing scenes of all of the different people turning to dust and fading away. Scene cuts to me, fucking Jessica Biel. Jessica Biel is playing the Marvel character Mockingbird. Okay, if you're not familiar with Mockingbird, look it up. But she was an ex of Hawkeye, who is one of the ones that survived the snap, right?
Okay.
So she too survives the snap. I, however, don't. I turn to dust as I'm hitting that shit. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
The dust goes into her vagina. Okay? She's pregnant with my dust.
With your dick dust?
Yeah, with my dick dust. I am then reborn. I am now a new Marvel
This
character.
isn't a death.
Yes,
This is a reincarnation.
Listen, it's actually 2 deaths, okay? So I die there when I turn to dust from the Thanos snap. I'm reborn, and I grow, and I hear the stories and stuff, and I turn evil, okay? Then, of course, I have to be the character who is the new Thanos, basically. And the superhero at that time, whoever's popular at that time. This is long down the road. Whoever it is. Maybe it's fucking Ant-Man, I don't know. They are the superhero that kills me. So my number 10, Thanos snap, fucking Jessica Biel, turn to dust, reborn as the new supervillain, and then I'm killed.
Okay. That's a very detailed story. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, I've got more coming,
I
trust
was
me.
going to say that might get turned into a hitch, because if your dick dust can get her pregnant, and let's just say as soon as you come back into reality, you're fated to die the same fate. So every time she births you, it just comes out as a dusty queef.
No. I'm only reborn once. I grow. I become evil. I'm the new villain.
You're the new villain that's
The
killed by the new
new-
generation of heroes
Yes.
that takes you down.
However they may be. Like I said, it depends on what the superhero is, but the point is I die that way. I die by that superhero.
Wow. So number 10 is a dull death, and my number 10 is nowhere even. It's very anticlimactic in comparison.
Oh, I climaxed in that one, trust me.
Oh, there was an end game there. there was a phoenix force at work, so to speak, as you literally rose from the ashes, shall I say. How grossed out would she be when just all your dead ash just goes all over? Ugh. I mean,
I don't go over her. I go in her.
well, where's
Like,
the rest of your body ashing to? Everything from your whole body like funnels into the magical black hole vagina?
Yes, I'm thrusting her. I'm hitting it from behind, and I'm thrusting her. Because, it's still a Marvel movie, so it's not porn, so you can't show everything. But you can get it a little bit. She's covered by sheets. I'm hitting it from behind. As I thrust, that's when the snap happens, and the goes into her vagina.
All the dust?
All the dust, just one.
Okay, so throw back to last episode. There has to be a little dust that lands on the butthole that comes up in a cloud when she farts.
What's your number 10?
I'm sorry, dude. That would be the funniest thing in a movie. Yes, you're getting reborn, but that last little bit is a... I'm going to be hung up on this for a minute. Sorry.
Jessica Biel doesn't fart. I know it in my heart.
I may have just ruined Jessica Biel with the farting. But anyway, okay. Allegedly, Jessica Biel does not fart.
I know it in my heart of hearts.
Okay, so my number 10 is jumping from a burning building while burning.
You want to go out slow.
So it's just that quintessential rocket man that doesn't really fly but plummets very nicely. I don't know. It's always really cool when you get those movie shots of that person jumping off something completely on fire.
Yes.
I'm like, that'd be kind of a...
Yeah, in the movie.
I mean, you're dying. It's going to suck ass no matter how you die.
In the movie, it would be cool. But in real life, that's a terrible way to go out. So that's where my mind went with this. I'm like, I don't...
Everything is...
Because, yes, that sounds cool as fuck.
There's no good way to die. So
yes,
if
there
you're
is.
going to... I mean... Okay, my number 1 and 2 are kind of in that.
But there's not 8
Although
others.
one of those 2 is very brutal. But I mean, think about it. I'm going to be talked about the flaming faller for how long?
That's the title of the movie. The Flaming Faller.
Except unlike the flame, I have no propulsion, but there is a nice fiery trail all the way to the ground. Because I do want it to stop, and it's got to stop abruptly.
Just like this podcast.
I said anticlimactic.
Stop abruptly.
I mean, how do you top the ash fart? I don't know. How do you...
I don't know, but I'm about to try. Okay. So, in this one, I'm playing the President of the United States of America. The title of the movie, I don't have it yet. It's a work in progress. But the movie is about me being reelected. So the whole movie goes through me battling everything that I have to battle to be reelected, right? I'm finally reelected, and the movie ends with my assassination. I am sniped during my State of the Union address. And that's how the movie ends. You have to find out if there's another one, I don't know, but that's how I die.
Sequel 2 is a remake of The Manchurian Candidate.
That's a good movie.
Or the third remake, second remake, whatever it would be.
It'd be the second remake.
So,
but yeah, there you go.
So Death by Sniper?
Death by Sniper as the President of America, giving the State of the Union address. Like all of the details has to be in there. It's not just being sniped. I'm the President of the United States of America. I just won my re-election. I'm giving a State of the Union address, and blow, back of my head, on camera for the world to see.
I mean, all right. You want to Kennedy that shit?
Yeah.
Less parade, more standing there to be a still target, but okay.
Pretty much.
All right, okay. Hopefully they
And scene.
Hopefully they aim better than they did when they were shooting at Trump. But otherwise, you're going to walk away with another nicked ear. I don't know. Thank God the left can't aim. What are you supposed to say to that? I mean, on a serious note, I don't think any candidate, regardless of what side they're on, should have to worry about being shot giving a speech.
No.
I think that is just absolutely the bottom line of petty. Whether I liked any of the presidential candidates or there were some that I severely disliked, it never once crossed my mind that they should be shot. Like, I mean, I didn't agree with everything that all the candidates have to say. I didn't agree with half of what all the candidates had to say. True, there's a lot of back and forth on both sides of that aisle. But because someone has an opinion and they're running to make a difference on what they believe they can make a difference on, there's no grounds for shooting somebody, in my opinion. I mean, that's kind of extreme, no matter how you look at it.
Back to conspiracies. I think it was planned.
Well, I mean, if you want to say that, then every assassination was planned.
No,
I'm sure it was all planned somewhere
this
at some
one gave
point.
him a fucking real boost for the election. But anyways, I digress.
Yes, because he would have lost it entirely, 100% otherwise, right?
There was a chance. I mean,
There's always a chance.
but when you get shot in the ear, it's like, oh, let's back this guy. The ear, come on. He got shot in the ear. Like, really?
I have no doubt in my mind they were not
Like-
aiming for his ear, dude.
Exactly.
I mean,
Whether Trump knew
that was a flat out
Wh-
misfire
whether-
shot all the
whether
way
Trump
through. I think they
knew
were
and-
going to take his head off is what they were going for.
No,
and what people
no.
never talk about
No.
was the actual innocent people behind him that did die.
Exactly.
I mean,
Which harkens back to 9/11. Presidents know things. Things are planned. We're not getting into conspiracies again. But if the person wanted to shoot fucking Donald Trump and kill him, he would have shot him in the head. Instead, he got shot in the ear. Get the fuck out of here. No. That wasn't a misfire. It wasn't just some random fucking schmuck who's never touched a gun. You don't miss the head and hit the ear. You don't do it. That's all I'm saying. Whether Trump knew about it or if it was just a Trump supporter, like, oh yeah, if I look like I'm trying to assassinate him, then he'll definitely get elected.
okay, well, you're still putting an awful lot of variance on a shot to hit the ear and not the head, dude. I think it would almost be a harder shot to graze his ear than to put it between his eyes. Let's be legit.
It's a lot harder to miss the head and just hit the ear,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
like accidentally.
Well, if you're saying it was intentional,
Yes, 100%.
he intentionally grazed the president's ear.
Yes,
No fucking way in hell.
yes. All right, let's go back to the
no
list.
fucking way in hell. I don't care what sniper you have up there. There is no aim small, miss small rule that's going to have you graze an ear and not take the head off. There's too many variables where people that talk, they move their head consistently. I mean, there's just way too many variables. That's like, what was that movie where Will Smith had an ice bullet? Or was it no? No, Damon Wayans, I think, was the actor in it. He had to commit an assassination, but he was using a bullet that was made out of like super hard cryogenically frozen ice or some shit. So there would be no evidence left behind. I can't remember what the name of the movie was. The Last Boy Scout? No.
Not sure.
That's going to bug me now. Anyway, all right. So, number 9.
Yes. Mine was the president thing.
The president
So,
thing.
yeah,
Right.
you're number 9 this time.
Right. Okay.
Somehow turned into a conspiracy political
So-
podcast.
Mine, once again, more anticlimactic. But drowning at a public aquarium.
Oh my god. No. What?
Because if I'm going out that day, it's going to be a bad day. I'm fucking up at least 50 other people's days with me.
And their lives, the little child. They're harmed for scarred for life.
And it can't be in the shark tank. It's got to be like in the sea turtle tank or some shit. That's where everybody stands for a long time to watch. Hey, look, I'll be on YouTube and they will talk about that longer than they're going to talk about you being assassinated as a president.
That's fair. That's 100% fair.
I will have memes
But
that
hold on.
last for generations off this shit.
That's fair. Fair. Yep.
It's the cheap shots that last the longest, man.
But drowning? Oh, that's a terrible way to die. We're talking about drowning?
We already knocked out fire, so
I know. Well, you're what sadomasochist? Is that the word? Or is it just masochist? Like you like pain. What is
no,
it?
not necessarily.
I think so.
Well, sadomasochism, isn't that a sexual thing?
Well, yes, but what is
yeah,
it?
no, I'm not asking anybody to electrocute my balls or anything. I promise.
Well, I'm not convinced.
I mean, if they'll touch me, I guess. I mean, somebody just please. Anyway,
My number 8, back to the movies. Or, I mean, I guess this could happen in real life. Probably not. Zombie apocalypse. Okay? I'm the last man alive. Zombie apocalypse, and I'm the last man alive. And it's not about survival, like as far as food and that kind of stuff. That ain't what this is about. I'm horny as hell. Okay? So I find my way. I just can't handle it anymore. I'm horny as fuck. I find my way, figure out where Sydney Sweeney is. You know who Sydney Sweeney is?
okay, yeah.
Okay. I find where she's at, and I attempt to slay her with my cock. And that's how I die.
You're gonna go out fucking a zombie.
I'm going to go out fucking a Sydney Sweeney zombie. Zombie apocalypse, last man alive. That's it.
I mean, once you die, that's all it is for humanity, I guess. So
Exactly.
I mean, you're gonna go out on your own terms.
I mean, there's two ways to look at this. Maybe my semen, if I can accomplish the mission, will impregnate her, and it will start new life. Or maybe
Because they won't eat the baby the minute it's born.
Maybe my semen is the cure. Oh, this is a whole new movie. I got to get home and start writing a script.
The zombie reversal. Except you're dead. There's no more cure. You cured one person who's now in the same boat as you are. I don't think zombie sperm, if that's even a thing. You just double doomed all of humanity. Way to go. Or it's going to be some twisted fucking thing where she has a baby boy and she's cured by zombieism by the time she gets to the birth. And then you have this whole weird ancestral... This is a bad movie.
When you put it that way, it kind of is.
You put this in a hotel room with one camera and it's just wrong. Anyway. Rawhead Rex Productions present.
That's who our next episode's brought by.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Where?
We're 8. 8 for me is going out in total, almost comedic fashion. It's called Death by Poodle. Imagine this. Okay. Think.
Getting licked by a poodle?
No.
Okay.
You're walking down New York City. And in New York City, they have high-rise apartment buildings, man. I'm talking 30, 40, 50 stories up, right? And you are just, it is that morning, you are feeling good about life. You just got your coffee from Dunkin' Donuts, Starbucks. If you're like me, you made this shit at home because you don't have $15 to waste on a coffee. And you were about ready to take the world by storm. You are headed to do your shit that day. You are feeling good. And someone on the 48th floor of an apartment high-rise is out on their balcony, and the table's too close to the railing, and they go to pick up the phone, and they accidentally nudge their poodle that's on the table right over the fucking railing, and it's plummeting at the earth at 9 million fucking miles an hour, just... and it's embedded in your head. Now, you have no idea why or what just happened, but you are forever known as the New York Poodle Guy.
Now that's what I'm fucking talking about.
Which is also a throwback to Dennis Leary. If Dennis Leary ever hears this, I'm so sorry, but that was too funny to pass the fuck up. So this is an homage to Dennis Leary about the poodle guy from the end of one of his albums because they could not put that in here.
That was good. I think
I
it's
give
time.
credit where credit's due. I mean,
Yeah. I think it's time now, though, for us to draw a card. 3 cards, actually, out of this little box here. And do a Marry, Fuck, Kill.
Marry,
Oh my
fuck,
God.
kill.
Sean P. Diddy Combs. Literally, that's what it's there.
Today's sponsor is brought to you by Diddy Daycare.
That's why he's there. It's Jim Carrey and Adam Sandler.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I already know at least one of the ones on yours, but so we got Diddy, Jim Carrey, and Sandler.
Alrighty then. Jesus. I mean, we're killing Diddy, dude. I mean, I don't want to tell you. Diddy goes.
Mm-hmm.
But before I kill Diddy, I'm going to lock him in a vat of baby oil for 4 hours just to marinate him. I thought we were killing Diddy. Where is he? Marinating. He's marinating. We're going to pull him out and fillet him alive later, but currently, marinating him. We'll sell tickets. Trump will come in. It's going to be a beautiful, beautiful execution. Absolutely fabulous. We brought in the best executors from across the world. It's going to be quick. It's going to be painful. I can't do a Trump impression whatsoever. It sucks. It's going to be the most fabulous, beautiful wall we've ever built, and we're going to hang Diddy from the top of it, okay?
They're eating the dogs. Do that. You can do that, can't you? Isn't that
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats.
They're eating the cats.
And right now, for a donation to Team Trump of $49.99 or more, we'll give you a free flaming arrow to shoot at Diddy's corpse hanging off the wall, okay?
That's how he gets elected for the third term. All right.
Everyone gets to shoot arrows at Diddy's body. Sorry, Diddy, but you're taking one for the team here, Team Trump. I mean, anyway.
All right, we're both killing Diddy.
We're both killing Diddy. That's cool. So now we are down to Adam Sandler and you said
Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey. Ooh. I guess it's a night with Jim Carrey because he seems a little more unstable than
That's fair. That's
than
fucking
Adam
fair.
Sandler. But I still would love the opportunity outside of this game to just hang out with Jim and just talk to Jim and just see what happens. You know what I'm saying? Because like he's such an interesting character, whether he's playing a film or not.
Yeah.
It's just fascinating. And so I guess that leaves me with marrying Adam Sandler because I mean, it would still be a good time regardless. I don't think Adam Sandler probably has a lot of weird, unnormal days as far as that goes. I would say he probably has a pretty interesting life all the way around. And probably just for the simple cause that he just makes everything interesting versus just, I don't know. I just think it would be a different scenario all the way through, but
I'm doing exactly the same thing for pretty much the same reasons. Adam seems a little more stable, so I'd marry him. Plus, he has more friends, or at least it seems like it. I mean, like Chris Rock and is it Kevin James?
mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do those people come over?
I mean, just for the friend factor of hanging,
Exactly, yeah.
dropping by
So-
alone, like, dude, like I've heard Kevin James' actual stand-up albums, and I've seen most of the shows he's ever been in. He's funny as all get out, and the opportunity to hang out with that. I mean, Chris Rock, we already know, but I mean, heck, dude, Rob Schneider, Steve Buscemi, all these like
So many.
pretty genuinely funny people that just kind of surround him.
Maybe Jim Carrey has the same squad, but we see Sandler has it. So
Right.
I would marry the more stable, friendly Adam Sandler. I would have a good old time with Jim Carrey, Ace Ventura, The Mask, however he wants to do it. And then, Diddy, the most violent way I could possibly execute that piece of shit. That's happening. All right.
We're going to have a beautiful execution. All right, so we are on your number 7.
Yes. You're number 7. And this one, again. This time I'm playing the Joker in a movie based on the Killing Joke comic series. So we've had different versions of the Joker already portrayed. Obviously, we've had this debate before. Heath Ledger's, however, the number 1 Joker, yes.
Which during the character study for Heath Ledger, Killing Joke was one of the comic books that he deep delved into to create the character for his portrayal.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I would deep delve into his stuff and some other things as well to portray the Joker in my way for the Killing Joke. And since the story ends kind of, I don't know if you've read it, but it kind of ends up in the air. There's debates on what actually happens in the end. You'll just have to watch the movie to find out. But that's how I'm going to die.
I've seen the movie and
No, the Killing Joke. Oh, well, it is. There's an animated.
Yes.
Yes. Well,
yeah,
this
it was animated
real
film.
real action, live action, whatever you call it. Killing Joke, starring Jason Bateman as the best Batman, and not Jason Bateman. Damn it, I say that every time. It's Patrick Bateman. But Christian Bale. Christian Bale, best Batman ever. Nathan Webb as the Joker, the Killing Joke. And in the final scene, I'm not going to tell you how it happens. You just have to watch the movie. But that's how I die.
That's where you flip the entire script. Okay. So. Oh, jeez.
Not what you were expecting.
You have these so detailedly planned out, man. And like mine is all like, you know, I go out doing this, whatever, you know, I go out doing that.
That's,
you know, like
spoiler alert, that's the last one that's planned out. The rest of them are just short sentences. So.
Because this one here is one that actually kills a small percentage of our population every year. And every time I read about it, I laugh. And then I thought, God, if I was going to die, this would be so ironic. But it's death by vending machine. Every year, X amount of people try shaking a vending machine. It falls forward and flattens the fuck out of them. So, my thing is, it happens, and I just got my feet sticking out from under it like the Wicked Witch of the West. And oddly enough, when it falls and hits, the snack or soda of my choice sadly rolls out from underneath it. And the cops walk up and they're like, damn. Clancy, we got another one. Bring in the cleanup crew and a snow shovel.
A snow shovel?
Well, I'm crushed really flat, so they have to like peel me off.
Okay.
I don't know how much a vending machine weighs. I'm guessing it wouldn't do that much damage. I could probably still pick the pieces up and put it in.
It does
you
enough
know, like a
damage to
hefty
kill
sack or
people every
something.
year?
Yes. Yes, it actually kills people every year.
Stop shaking vending machines, people. What the fuck?
It is an actual statistical death of people that die every year by being upset, shaking a vending machine to the point that it falls forward and crushes them. And just like in this irony of a horror film, what they want, it just rolls out from underneath at the end. With two creepy girls. The possessed vending. Hey, they made a whole movie about a possessed tire, so I think I can go with a vending machine, damn it.
Yes. What if you were then cremated and your ashes were put into some kind of container and then put back into that same vending machine? I don't know why I thought of
Oh,
it. But
like VHS, the movie VHS. So if you get unlucky and the ashes fall out, you're the next to die by a vending machine, and you're gonna die in the next 7 days.
we are writing some scripts today. Okay.
And the only way to possibly break the curse is you have to find the original family of the people who invented vending machines,
And kill him.
because you find out they made a deal with the devil, and every vending machine has a curse that not only sucks you financially dry, but it takes a little piece of your soul with every purchase, and it's feeding the demons of the underworld while they raise the army to come back through the portal of the vending machine.
The more you talk, this sounds more like an animated movie than a live action.
I mean, you can do it live action.
I don't think so. I think it's probably more in your realm of anime.
I mean, the portal opens up and the demons crawl out of the back of a vending machine that freshly killed somebody because it was the last piece of soul they needed. But whatever. I'm just Then your superheroes can take over and kill the demons and send them. See what I mean? You just you just kind of shut it down so fast.
I know.
Now I'm just.
I let it unwind and then
That should have been an anime. Yeah, all right, whatever. I mean, that's fine.
What shouldn't have been an anime though
See
was
what my contribution has gone to the wayside of neglected thoughts once again. And
what shouldn't have been an anime was Scarface. And my number 6 is to die in a Tony Montana style blaze of glory. Just
are you gonna say hello to my little friend?
I might. That would,
Death by cop.
if my last words are say hello to my little friend, I would. That's fine. And get shot in the back of the head by a fucking shotgun or whatever. Yes, that's. There you go. Like I said, it's not as detailed as all the other ones.
No, I mean, it's still hanging into that movie.
Yes.
That movie
Yes.
scene. You know, and so might be number 6, right?
Yes.
Cool. So number 6, it's quick. We hope it's painless, but it causes a big splash, so to speak. It's being hit by a train. So many insane things you've seen in movies, and the straight cringe factor is when you see that train either explode a car or just turn someone into a red mist. I'm just saying, it's just.
So it's funny that you say that. I was watching Daredevil just now, catching up. Watched the second episode, I think. So I'm way behind. But have you watched Daredevil? Born Again, new one? Okay. Well, spoiler.
It's on Disney, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, no.
Spoiler. Second episode. Dude gets trips, pushed, whatever, in front of a subway train. Well, later, when they're on trial, the defense attorney, the prosecuting attorney, uses the description of what happens to a person when they're hit by a train. And he says, what happens first? Every bone in the body breaks. And then, I forget what else he said. It's a couple other things. All this painful sounding shit. He's like, but you're still alive. You feel all of that until the train backs up. And then that's when your life ends. So you brought that up, and I was like, holy crap, I just heard about this earlier.
It's Anthony. I'm going for the mist of glory when it hits you at this point.
That's what people see, but you're still in pain. You like pain. We're going back to that. You want to burn alive.
It's always to die.
You want to drown.
Well, the next one's going to be even worse.
Well, for me, the next one is also very painful. Seen the movie 300?
Mm-hmm.
You know Leonidas?
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite movies. I love 300. I love Leonidas. I almost named my son Leonidas. True story. But I want a fight to the death with Leonidas. A good fight scene too, where I'm getting
You've got a lot of practice.
where I'm getting my blows in, but ultimately I fall to the sword of Leonidas.
So you want slowly cut to death?
Sure. As long as the badass fucking fight scene with fucking Leonidas.
Leonidas. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to go with a guy who fought for his entire life would probably dispatch most people fairly quickly.
Well, if this is the scenario, I'm also fought my entire life. Also, it's leading up to the two.
So this is a Clash of the Titans
Yeah.
scenario for
Yeah.
you. This is
I'm the big bad, and he's
the
fucking
champion
Leonidas.
versus champion scenario. There's no, you both handle your shit type thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not just me right now, fat sloppy fucking Nathan going in front of Leonidas. That's no fun at all.
He's got the abs drawn on. What movie did they do that? Was that year one?
That sounds like it.
Where
That's
the
probably-
big guy had abs drawn on
Yeah.
his stomach or some shit. Okay. So we're down to number 5.
Yes,
halfway.
that was my 5. So
What was
yes.
your 5? So my number 5. My number 5 is death by shark.
Any specific type of shark? Or are we just talking shark period?
I mean, everyone talks about the great white shark, but bull sharks are actually way more aggressive and way more prone. Any shark attack's going to suck,
Probably.
no matter what. But it's always a phenomenal story, right? So mostly, if you paid attention, all of mine end with, it's a really good story. It's retellable. Generationally retellable. Tell you about your uncle, man. Motherfucker jumped in, punched a shark in the face. He got all of his shark buddies and came back. They tore his fucking ass up. Like, we were finding pieces of your uncle for like 4 weeks out there. I'm not even going to lie. Just every once in a while, I'm like, oh, yeah, there's a finger. We better scoop that out, go add it to the grave. We couldn't bury him for 3 months because we had to figure out where all the rest of them was at. And by the end, we actually got really cheap burial plot because he went down in a hefty sack. It was just, it's one of those. Yeah, he sat like 3 generations later, Timmy, what'd you bring for show and tell? Oh, it's a piece of the hefty sack they buried my uncle in because he got tore apart by 47 sharks. That's intense, Johnny. That is really intense. Yeah.
Why does he have the part of the hefty sack again? I
Because
missed.
the rest of me actually got buried.
They just used the hefty sack to transport you? Is that?
Well, yeah, because each of the pieces had their own hefty sack. So,
No, I assumed that it was
Instead
the
of-
hefty sacks were going to be
instead
buried.
of the
Okay. Gotcha.
little obituary cards, the close family all got a sack that a part of my body got brought back in.
Gotcha,
'Cause, it wasn't all brought back in at the same time. Took
Okay.
more than one hefty sack, So he cut a corner off of that sack and was taking it for show and tell. This is the corner of the bag they brought my uncle back in,
Are they the scented ones?
I don't know. I'm gonna go with no because I wasn't really a big potpourri guy,
Okay.
I
Just
mean,
the
I have
traditional
cologne,
black
but
ones,
not,
then.
I don't want the floral scented. Yeah, the traditional hefty bags, the ones that keep Jackie Chan back, For those that don't remember, that was a commercial where Jackie Chan would do a flying kick into a hefty bag and it didn't break, show how strong the trash bags were, so to speak.
It's a strong fucking trash bag.
It's Jackie Chan proof. So when you're looking for a trash bag to bring back parts of your loved ones in, remember, hefty. Not wimpy. You do not want to be coming back on land and lose half of your loved one on the dock because the bag gave out. Respect your chewed up loved ones. Carry them in a hefty sack.
So 47 bull sharks. Is this an instant, or is it a like a?
I would hope at 47 bites, if it's all simultaneously, it's pretty instant.
Okay. I didn't know if it was simultaneous or if they were just like one grabbed your arm and then a couple minutes later another one grabbed your leg and you're out there just trying
At
to
that
survive.
point, I'm dying. Like, where's Aquaman when you need him?
All right. You want to give us a Mary Fuck Kill before I break the top 4?
He's the shittiest hero. He could have stopped it. All right. All right. So for these 3, Marissa Tomei.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
I'll pull her up.
Kelly Clarkson
Okay.
and Sheryl Crow.
Okay.
Is Marissa Tomei a singer too?
No.
Oh, okay.
The actress.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know who that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The sexy Aunt May.
She's 60 years old.
She's what?
60.
Damn.
So, Tomei, Clarkston, and who was the last one?
Sheryl Crow.
Sheryl Crow. Okay. She sang "I'm a bitch, I'm a lover."
No, that was Meredith.
Oh, Sheryl Crow was the one with Kid Rock, right?
I believe so. Yes.
Okay, now I have to look her up, make sure I'm thinking of the right person.
And the
She was hot, right?
Yeah, she was cute. Kind of a blonde, I think.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, damn. Okay.
Meredith Brooks.
That was the I'm a bitch, I'm
Saying,
a lover. Okay.
I'm a bitch. No, the bitch song or whatever.
Okay, she's not pretty. Sheryl Crow is fucking pretty. Okay. I am going to Sheryl Crow, Tomei, and who was the other one? Clarkston. I'm going to kill Clarkston. I never thought anything special about her. Her music's not my taste. Her looks not my taste. So yeah, I'm gonna kill her. And then I am going to go on the wild side. Actually, I'm just going to fuck Tomei. I was originally thinking she's probably marriage material. I'm gonna go with the one that's probably not a very good marriage material, but I feel like my life would be fun. Sheryl Crow. That's who I'm marrying. Fucking Tomei and killing Clarkston.
So, yeah, I get the reasoning. I kind of almost agree with all that in a way. Just based on the three people there, Kelly's on the lowest end, so she's going out that way. Nothing up against two different names, she would have probably placed very different place. And these two names, yes. So I'll take the night with Cheryl. But yeah, Marissa Tomei would be a hall pass thing for me. I would not pass up the opportunity to marry that woman. Even at 60, she still looks damn. I'd fuck her now. I ain't kidding.
Yeah,
She is. She's one of those. I don't know. I've always found her like stupidly attractive.
How old is Cheryl?
I've always found her stupidly attractive, dude.
Cheryl's 63, so she's 3 years older than
Yeah. I would not pass up a continual thing with that woman ever.
I completely understand. Well, when it comes to age, this one doesn't matter. My number 4. I am super, super big on vampires.
Okay.
I think I mentioned on a previous podcast, Christmas Day, Nosferatu came out in theaters. Me and my wife went and seen it. Fantastic movie. Bitten by Count Dracula. That is, if I'm going to die, whether it's a movie or if Count Dracula is real, and bitten by Count Dracula. Now, do I die or do I become a vampire? I don't know. But technically, vampires are dead, right? So,
yeah.
That's it. My number 4. Bitten by Count Dracula.
So my number 4 would be to die in a jousting match.
Okay. Like with the actual...
Oh, fuck yeah. The whole goddamn horseback, the whole 9, right? And like an actual fucking, like, straight up, the whole crowd's there, you know? And it's just
Coliseum Rome style.
It would, oh yeah, absolutely, right? Like not the what you go to the Ren Fest to see, because that's still cool. Don't get me wrong, you know. I'm talking about this was like the legit princess's hands on the fucking line type shit, you know. And just you know, I don't know. There's something that was always, you watch all the movies where the jousting was in it and everything. It just looks so high on the brutal factor, but even higher on the cool factor. You know what I'm saying? Like it just kind of seemed like one of those things where you just, you know, you're probably going to die. You just got to do it anyway. You know what I'm saying? And it just seemed like one of those things that would just be crazily
So at
cool.
the same pay-per-view event where I am facing Leonidas to the death, there will be a jousting.
The prelim is a jousting match.
The main event probably is going to be someone facing a lion, but...
Hold that thought.
All right. Okay, so as I stated before we got into this, my top 3 are actual ways that I would legit be all right with going out. And I don't know if it's ever been mentioned on the podcast or not, but I'm a veteran. I served. I fought in Afghanistan and Iraq, and I was with the 173rd. I bring this up because they are the best damn unit in the military, hands down. I would go back with my leaders and my soldiers to fight with them again. That's their family forever. So my number 3 is if I'm going to die, I want to die in combat, preferably alongside the same people that I've already been with. But hey, if I get drafted for some reason at 43 years old to go fight China at this point, then fine, fuck it. I'll die for this country. I am very patriotic, so die in combat.
But you're dragging all your buddies to die along with you.
No, I could be the one that fucking dies. They all survive.
Oh, you're the only one that don't come back.
Yeah.
It's kind of how you're looking at that scenario. Okay, all right, okay. I can.
If I'm going to die.
Yeah, no, I mean, I understand the sentiment, man. I've never been in the military myself. I've had a lot of friends who've been in the military, had some family who was in the military, and there's a brotherhood there that you really can't describe unless that's even difficult at times even for me to understand, probably just unless you've been in that situation, unless you've been with those people for the amount of time that they were with them, where your training and any experiences you got after training was you just literally relying on them for your not only day-to-day needs but your life. You know, there's a bond there I don't think that can really be described unless you've gone through that. And I mean, yeah, you have friendships, but it's a different level at that stage. It'd be almost like if you went through something traumatic where you could almost die with somebody and you both survived. There's a different bond there,
right?
Than there would be any. And I always had a feeling that's kind of what the military ended up with. You know, as far as when they talk about that brotherhood, and I think it's probably it's probably the easiest way to describe it, but I don't really think it does it as much justice as it really is, because there's something deeper there than just like a brotherhood type phrase. But I've always had a lot of respect for people who are able to not only to achieve that, but able to maintain it for years even afterwards. And it's just a really cool thing as far as that goes. So that is a good way to place it into number 3, which is almost impossible to match or top. But I mean, just skip over mine at that point. Don't worry about that, you know. Because mine was actually death by airplane in a barnstorming accident.
In a what storming accident?
Barnstorming?
What is barnstorming? Like rushing,
Okay.
like the insurrection of White House, but a barn?
No.
No. Okay.
So, have you seen the Red Bull where the planes are all doing the crazy stunts and flying through and
No.
like all the different like little checkpoints and stuff?
No.
Okay.
Red Bull? Like the drink, energy drink?
Yeah, so they have like a competition every year, and there's like
Oh.
high diving, there's extreme sports, and one of them is planes, and the planes are like sweeping really close to water, and they're barely missing stuff, and they're going
Oh.
through checkpoints. I mean,
Okay.
it's kind of like, you know, if you clip something, you're dead. So good luck. Here's the course, you know, type shit.
Gotcha. Okay.
And so back when that originally kind of became a thing where aviators were flying and learning, and of course, the more that people flew, the more comfortable they got, the more dangerous shit they started doing. So what they called it was barnstorming. This was guys who would come in really low, fly at a barn, turn the plane, and run right down the side of the wall, things like that. So it was kind of one of those, it was kind of like the birth of that extreme flying sport. But I mean, this was going on like way back in the day. Like we're talking about biplanes where the cockpit was still open type shit. Like this has been going on since what, the 20s, 30s or whatever. And, you know, like I said, you build something stronger and faster and an idiot's going to figure out how to do something stupid in it, which, you know, technically is how it goes. But then they would have these events where people would come watch these people do this stuff, right? And it was, you know, kind of like the birth of like the Evel Knievel guys and the stunt guys who are out there making the videos today where they're doing insane base jumps into a, you know, pool of water below and, you know, 300 feet down and, you know, just some of the most insane shit that would kill you unless you really know what you're doing. And, you know, it was just kind of one of those, the kind of carefree attitude behind it, the risk taking by the seat of your pants. Cause I mean, one thing goes wrong, that plane's going to nosedive at 200 mile an hour straight into the ground from 35 feet. You're just going. That's just how it is. But it was kind of one of those just, you know, I don't know, you riding that adrenaline thrill so hardcore that it just comes to that end. You know what I'm saying? Like
The Thanos snap.
yeah, I mean, technically, except it only affects the, you know, person
Yeah, I
in the
know.
plane or the
You just-
crowd you ran into or the, I mean, you know.
You just snapped, so I had to say it.
Yeah, there we go.
All right.
But I mean, I don't know.
Well, not trying to top it or anything, but my number 2 is an act of heroism. So, like jumping in front of a bullet to save my brother, or just something, an act of, probably for my family or a friend or something, I would save them.
Mhm.
Maybe even just a random person, whatever, an act of heroism. That's whatever it may be. That's my number 2. If I'm going to die, hopefully I'm doing something to save someone else when I die.
Damn, my 1 and 2 are going to be selfish as shit. You're taking like all these high roads all of a sudden and shit.
Don't
like,
worry, number 1's not.
I'm saving a kitten from a tree. And like, God damn, you fucking Boy Scout.
I mean,
Fucker.
I'm an asshole in everything else. Let me have my moment.
I want to die heroically. How do you want to die? Plane crash? I don't know. Fucking... I'm going to die serving my country. What about you? Sharks. Fuck off. I mean, trying to have an inappropriate, funny podcast. I'm sitting here, G.I. fucking Joe. USA. Yeah, I'm the asshole. All right, whatever. Can I have a cracker? Juice box? Oh, I found a new ick. Yeah, okay. Some of that trumps all your funny shit with something patriotic. How about that? That's an ick. Ugh. Thanks a lot. All right. Well, my number 2 comes from Game of Thrones.
Okay.
And when you think about all the deaths in Game of Thrones, what would come to mind that I would choose as a death from Game of Thrones?
All I can think of is beheading, but I don't know why you would want to do that. So
No. So mine comes from a conversation from early on in the show between Ned Stark and his friend the King, obviously before the King dies, right? And they were talking about how he was getting too old to go out and fight wars and he needed to settle down. He goes, look, one day I plan to die with a belly full of wine and a cunt on my cock. I'm like, yeah, that's exactly how I want to go out. I want to die having sex, man. And not getting turned into ash and coming back and getting killed by it. I just want to fucking go out
just while
with
you're-
a woman on my dick that loves me and wanted to be there. That's it. I just, you know, the belly full of wine is negotiable.
So you say a woman that loves you. You want to die having sex with a woman that loves you. Right? What you said.
Okay. Yeah.
Does she die too? Or
Nah, it doesn't matter. She can move on and do
she
whatever.
has
when
to
I'm gone.
live with the fact that you were inside of her and died,
But see, that could almost be a badge of honor.
I guess.
Just think about it. She could then use that on a dating profile. I fucked so good, I fucked a dude to death. And she would have 8 million people lining up to see if they could survive. I'm telling you right now, I know how guys work. If you were single and you were on a dating site and you read the profile, I fucked so good, I've actually killed a guy in sex. Are you telling me you're not swiping or at least sending a message?
That's fair.
There we go.
That's fair.
I have set her up to get laid by whoever for the rest of her life because she decided that I was worth fucking to death.
Okay. I asked that question for a very
I
specific...
am in the fuck kill section of a marry fuck kill for this girl. She's like, I fucked him and I killed him.
Yep.
Now I need the guy I'm trying to marry. I promise I won't go that hardcore, but you are going to come close to death quite a few times. But
Well, I asked that...
call her the vaginal assassin.
The vaginal says. I asked that question for a specific reason, which we will get to with my number 1. But first, let's do one more marry, fuck, kill. We're not going to use the cards. I've got 3 girls that
Okay.
I have pulled up here on Google while you were talking. That's what I was doing, so that you can know who they are. Brie Larson. You know who that is?
Yeah.
Okay, she played Captain Marvel.
Yes.
Aubrey Plaza.
I do not know who that is.
You will when you see her, I think. And then Deborah Ann Ryan. She's an actor. She's a singer. The other two are actors.
Deborah Ann Ryan sounds familiar, but I'm not 100% sure I'm placing a face to it. And Brie Larson, I know.
That's Deborah Ann Ryan.
Debbie Ryan.
Debbie Ryan.
You should have
whatever.
said Debbie Ryan. Okay. Yeah, I know Debbie Ryan.
Okay. What do you know her from? Like you say that like, oh my God, it looks like Disney? I don't know.
She was huge on Disney. My
Okay.
girls watched like every show she was in. And then I found out she was actually like 27 in the show. And
That's Aubrey Plaza.
okay.
And then you obviously already know, but that's Brie Larson.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there you go. There's your three.
Yeah. Bree's dead.
Okay, what's with the Brie? When I said her name, you kind of had an ick.
Instantaneously.
What is
my
the turn
God.
off with Brie? I gotta know.
So if I had to say something was an absolute ick for me, I have no problem with women who want to do their own thing, feel empowered, this, that, or the other. That bitch shoved feminism down so many people's throats and fucking just was an absolute cunt about everything she said.
Oh.
For the longest time, even before she got to Marvel, it's like she didn't get like an Academy Award for a movie she made or whatever, there was some other award she won for it, and she stood up there and was making this whole comment. I don't give a fuck what you critics say. I made this movie for little girls everywhere, so none of your opinions matter. Y'all can pretty much, fuck off. So, suck a dick, whatever type shit. She just was the most arrogant, just
Okay.
came across as the biggest bitch I'd ever seen in my life. Just like, there's one thing about being arrogant, but when she was just demeaningly being as mean as possible with what she said.
Okay.
And like instantaneously, I was like, ugh. And they're like, she's playing Captain Marvel. And I went, ugh, type deal. Like, just because like I've seen the interviews where she's just the air of superiority mixed with the everybody's a piece of shit attitude she kind of had was just an instant
Well,
type deal.
I
And-
knew nothing of any of that. I mean, I don't watch news or really pay attention
These are
to
like-
any of that kind of stuff. So
I've ran down rabbit holes watching
I
different
gotcha.
like celebrity interviews and stuff, and she just kind of popped up over time because she was starting to get really popular and things like that.
Gotcha.
And
well,
you
it
know,
changes my opinion.
it was just
So-
kind of one of those deals where I know other actresses that feel almost as strongly about it the same way she does, but they don't push it on you the way she does. And I don't
Gotcha.
have that same reaction about them. I may not agree with everything that they say, but I don't have oh my God, just get me out of the room that she's in, because I just can't stand the way she's arrogantly going on about it. Like she's some superior complex and I need to put a collar on and crawl beside her like a dog, because that's kind of the way she, portrays it, the way it came across to me anyway when it was portrayed. And I'm sure a million people are going to disagree with this, but that's completely fine.
Yeah.
So in this instance, with the three names on the table, she's gone.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that means I'm taking a night with Aubrey,
Okay.
and much like the other girl in the cards that I pulled, I'm marrying Debbie. That's Debbie is one of those in a heartbeat girls for me. Like, fuck yeah, I don't give a shit.
Oh.
Like, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. There is an attraction level on that right there. That's just,
All Well,
and probably because the first show I ever saw her in, she had red hair, and that was just
yeah.
that was just the thing. And even without the red hair, she's still like, oh, yeah. I would. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, looking at pictures, more pictures of her, I see it. But I am
Mhm.
changing mine based on what you said, because I didn't know all that about Brie Larson. She was the one I was going to marry, because one, I was most familiar with her. Plus, I think she was.
I mean, dude, if you like getting paid and walking around on a leash, you might
That's
be
why
all
I
right.
said I'm changing it. Simmer down.
Then you can move to Idaho. That's a throwback only you're gonna get if you remember it.
I'm killing Aubrey Plaza.
He's gonna go away from this.
I'm killing Aubrey Plaza.
Okay.
Um,
Why?
because out of the three, she's the least attractive to me,
Okay.
and it's something about her eyebrows.
New ick unlocked.
No, it's just out of those three, I'm still fucking her if I had the opportunity. But if I have to pick of the three, she's the one I'm killing, and I can just say it's something about her eyebrows. I don't know.
Okay.
I am now going to just fuck Brie Larson because then I don't have to worry about all of what you said. I can literally just fuck her and then bitch
Walk
be
away.
gone. Exactly. And then I'm going to marry the you said Debbie, so I'll call her Debbie Ryan. When I first these girls. Okay, so where I got these from, by the way, when I do scroll every once in a while on my social media or whatever, for some reason I have actresses, probably because of this podcast and my phone's listening to me, will pop up or whatever. And these three was like, okay, I'll put those to the side and do a Marry Fuck Kill later. And now later is today.
It was later in life that I saw Debbie Ryan, but had she been earlier in my life, she would have been on that top 10 list of women that would have had kids if I had done some things too.
I see why. All right, so we got our number ones left, right?
Number one, we are at the dragon's lair.
And your last one, your number two, was to die while having sex with someone you love. And I asked you specifically, like someone you love, right? Not just a rando. My number one is I want to balls deep in my wife die. Okay. And as we orgasm, we'll simultaneously orgasm, we both die. I don't want her to have to live on after knowing that she killed me with her vagina.
Yeah, but then your kids are going to find you guys locked in.
So be it. Hopefully this happens after our kids are out of the house anyways. So maybe no one ever finds
Where the
us.
paramedics got to walk in to see
Hey,
that shit.
There's a story.
There's a story.
There's a story.
Tonight on the
They'll-
6 o'clock news, an elderly couple was found deceased in their home, locked in coitus.
They'll probably say, I probably killed her, my fat ass squashed her, suffocated her, and I died from a heart attack or something. That's probably how it actually.
In unrelated news, they both had a smile on their face.
Yes. But
Over to you, Bob. Good news for egg lovers. The price is coming down, finally.
what does it say about me, though, that I have that above the.
Back to you, Christy. Well, I can name some woman whose eggs weren't ready to be sold. Anyway, in unrelated news, Metallica is coming to town for their 97th season of touring. God knows, why can't they die? I'm sorry. You said it was going to be a story, so I went to a newscast. It was.
What does
kinda
that
all
say
over the
about me,
place.
though? You were giving me shit about my heroism and my dying in combat thing, but I had that above those two.
Well, I mean, honestly, you're not leaving your wife behind. You both are going together. It's kind of a semi-romantic sentiment, you know?
Romeo and Juliet-esque.
Right. You know? And so, which brings me to my number one, which if you recall, a few selections ago, I told you to hold that thought. But this is what I tell my kids when they start asking, like, well, yeah, Dad, but how you want to die? How you this, how you that? Because I have my youngest daughter is very, very sensitive to these things. So like even talking about it, she can cry and kind of like not want to, kind of do this thing. So I always play it off as a joke. And when I play it off as a joke, I say the same thing every time. I said, when I'm old and I'm in the wheelchair and you're pushing me around, you take me to the zoo, you throw a ham sandwich in the lion cage, and then just dump my ass right over the rail into that lion cage. So you can tell your kids and your grandkids and your great-grandkids, Grandpa went out fighting a lion over a ham sandwich. And it'd be a generational story. Let me tell you about my great-grandpa. He went out fighting a lion over a ham sandwich. So, if I go out for the story that comes to generations, it's Grandpa died fighting a lion over a ham sandwich. And at least my kids laugh. My youngest one's not in tears. And Dad, like, seriously, I'm dead serious. I want to fight that lion over a ham sandwich. So I will hit that dirt and that'll wake me up and I'll be like, where's my sandwich? I'll look up and that lion will be chewing on my sandwich. You son of a bitch. Get over here. That's my ham sandwich. I'll have no teeth in at the time because they fell out in the fall, and I'll just have to talk that way. I'm like, that's my ham sandwich.
It's almost like The Simpsons, Grandpa.
Oh. Anyway, so that's number one, right?
So we've got lions and sharks.
You said before the jousting there had to be a lion event.
Yeah,
so
yep.
there we go.
There it is. The lions, sharks, fucking Dracula, fucking
Jousting.
fire, drowning for some weird fucking reason. Both of us had fucking, of course.
A belly full of wine and a cunt on my cock.
I've got a couple good script ideas that I need to go home and write. You can focus on your anime one. That's fine.
The portal gateway to hell's been done 100 times. There's Gate. There's Dori Dori Ahi. I
Yeah, but
pronounced
none
that
of
last
them-
one so wrong.
None of them have a vending machine in it, I'm assuming.
No, I don't think
There's-
any of them have a vending machine in it.
There's your
So there's the niche, I
there's
guess,
your in, yeah.
for the vending machines. The demon-possessed vending machines.
That's a pretty good list.
No, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. I wasn't too terribly disappointed in that. Other than kind of got overshadowed there for a few picks. Pretty hardcore. Hey, some of the worst impersonations we've ever heard. It's just not going to happen that way. It's terrible at impersonations. I can't do hardly any of them well.
I don't think that they were bad.
And
I mean, like I said, you sound a little bit like Trump mixed with De Niro, but
I can't do either of those at all.
together you can.
I just know the words. But yeah. Apparently I pull a grandpa off pretty decently, supposedly. Okay, Goofy. Semi-okay, Mickey.
I think that was the last podcast.
It was the last
Okay,
podcast,
yeah.
but still. I'm coming to the end of my repertoire of voices that no one would pay to see.
You're too hard on yourself. Okay, I wouldn't pay to see that. But the rest of your stand-up, I will. All right. Well, I guess,
Yeah. Oh, speaking of that, though, I did put in for another application. I got like 4 dates in. I just haven't heard back. So it's going to be in May at this point. 'Cause
Okay.
They're completely. Bricky's is where I go on a normal basis. Bricky's Comedy Club, it's a little comedy club in Miamisburg. Shout out to Bricky's because it's really starting to take off and grow. Of course, with Wiley shutting down and a few other places having more difficult time frames and time slots to get into, Bricky's has really turned into a spot people are starting to go to. So the crowds are getting a little bigger and the talent pool is getting a little bit deeper as far as people that are going there. So if you ever find yourself in Ohio, just south of Dayton near Miamisburg, and it's a Friday night, it is a really good time for about $10 to swing into Bricky's Comedy Club, man, and then just go up there and show starts at 7:30 and just hear amateur comics stand up there and try and make people giggle. That's pretty much all it is. And sometimes it's funny because they bomb, and sometimes it's funny because they're funny, and sometimes you're just glad it's only a 5-minute slot. So, but regardless, I've never been there where it's been a bad time.
Yeah. Every time I've
And
been to see you, it's been good. I mean, yeah, there's been some flops, not by you, but by some of the other comics that were there. But for the most part,
I mean, it happens.
it's good.
You know,
Yeah.
and like I said, I totally ate the dirt in the comedy roast battle, so I know what that
That's one I
flop
missed.
feeling is like.
Yeah.
it was I should have ate the THC gummy before I went on stage. That way, I just wouldn't have been completely conscious of the flopping, or at least I wouldn't have cared as much about the flopping. Because their roast battle night is called Gift Ride, and in Ohio, weed is now legal, so they do get gummies from a dispensary, and every ticket is welcome to have a gummy if you want to kind of make the show funnier. And they kind of try and hand that out as you're coming through the door because it takes a few minutes to kick in, but good times all the way around. The comics were great. The mood was great. It was just one of those one of those situations I wasn't 100% prepared to walk into because I really didn't know what to expect, and I got my ass handed to me round one, and by a comic that I've done amateur nights with. So I lost to a guy I knew, and it was a good time. So those are usually earlier in the week because people do pay to go to those, and but regardless, check out their shows. They have a website. Lots of cool people coming through. Lots of funny people coming through.
That the roast actually was, I think, was what I advertised on Instagram before. So give me the other dates that you have, and I'll advertise them on there as well.
Yeah. As soon as
And I'll
I get
also
an
try to
active
take off
date,
work.
I'll as soon as I get an active date, I'll let you know.
Okay.
It's just going to be. So I think I've got like the last 3 weekends for May reserved, but because when I went back on, there was nothing in April available. That was like a week ago. There was literally nothing in April available, so they're booking out, which is it's a great problem to have.
Yeah.
In that aspect, not so much great because I used to just be able to shoot Kevin a message and be like, "Hey, I do open night. Yeah, I'll put you on Friday. Come on out." And to see the fact that it's now an application process and they now have enough applicants that it used to be the more people you bought, they actually would give you more time on stage. And now they have such full lineups. You're kind of held at 5 minutes. I mean, thank you for bringing more people. It helps. It helps get the word out. It's great that people come out and support, the comedians and things like that. Yeah. But they don't really have that, they would end up with a 3-hour show if all these people started getting 8 and 9 minutes apiece. And 8 and 9 minutes isn't the easiest to fill.
I'll say you would probably have 8-9 minutes every time because you always.
Yeah, there would have been a lot of
bring
times
people.
I'd have had 8. Yeah, I had one show. I think I had one show where I barely met minimum requirements of 5 because they want 5 people there, and it was just kind of back and forth. Just didn't work out, 100% in everyone's favor. But I'll tell you back, I did have one show where I had less than 5, but thank God brickies don't dock you or won't put you on if you have less than 5. It's just putting the effort out there to bring people in, which there have been some comedy clubs that are like, look, if you don't have 5, you're not going on, and it's pretty clearly stated. Like you answer the question of can you bring 5 people in their application like 5 times. And everyone has a disclaimer. If you don't have 5 tickets sold, you're not going on. If you don't have 5 tickets sold, like, yikes. So.
Well, you've got a good, I feel like, anyways, you got a good supportive group behind it.
Yeah,
I've that I do. It's just a matter of getting off work.
Yeah, I've been very fortunate that I put the word out. I send a grand total of 3 texts, and people have been really cool about telling friends and bringing other people. So it means they've either enjoyed the fact that I'm on stage, or they're just enjoying the fact that they get to see all the other comedians and I was an excuse to go. I'm not sure which. So it's always a good time. And no matter where you're listening at, if you got a local comedy club, it's typically not super expensive. Go support your local comedy club because these people struggle, and not everyone has a Netflix special, and there's a lot of funny people that aren't on Netflix, and there's a lot of funny people that aren't on Hulu and Max and this and that. And the only way you're going to find them and support them and get them to that level is to go out to these clubs and see them and decide who you like and who you don't like, Yep. And follow them on their socials, because it does mean a lot to these people when you follow them. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm on TikTok. I'm on, that's about it. Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And, of course, I use all those platforms mostly and strictly for my comedy. TikTok's a little bit different. But Facebook and Instagram is strictly for the comedy. And I've met some super cool people through this experience, as far as I've met people who travel the entire nation. And this is just one of the stops on their way through. In a little fucking tiny comedy club at the back of a bar in a little town that people find. And it's amazing how they find this and come out.
Those are the best ones.
Those
are the best ones.
I don't know if you've talked to Kevin, the owner, or not, but he's such a chill, laid back dude. Like he's just happy to be doing what he's doing.
Yeah, that's good.
So, all right, folks, that's enough plug for the comedy scene, because I'm always going to plug that, and I can plug that for the next 2.5 to 3 hours, but I'm not going to.
One more plug, though. Head over to our Instagram, motherfucker did it again. _Inappropriates _podcast. Go over there, like, follow, interact with the posts and stuff.
Did we get a Facebook page yet or no?
Yes, but I can't remember what it's called. I think it's the same thing. I think it's the _
The _ Inappropriates _
I think so.
podcast.
Yeah, I can look it
All right, so we'll update that on the next podcast. Or if you happen to find it, give us a like, give us a follow, send us a message, let us know what you're looking at, where you're going.
No, it's just the Inappropriates podcast. There's no underscores or.
Can we post the podcast on Facebook?
I could post the link. That's what I do all the time.
Okay.
But as far as the actual live thing, I would have to figure out how to do it.
I feel like if we live stream this on a Facebook at some point, it would be probably pulled down for violation of community guidelines.
100%. Yes.
But, that's
All
because
of-
we don't follow community guidelines.
All of the artwork, though, I just want to plug myself a little bit here. All of the artwork for the Instagram is me.
Yes.
I spend. It doesn't look like it because it looks very shitty, but it's deliberately shitty. I spend a good amount of time on each one of these covers for each episode. So go.
Yeah, because
go like the
honestly,
pictures.
I have the easiest job out of this whole podcast, completely 100%. Because Nate will edit all the podcast after we're done recording. Nate puts all the artwork up. His wife keeps everything posted on Instagram and Facebook and kind of manages that. And I just show up and run my mouth. It's kind of a sweet gig on my part. I make a list. I show up. I run my mouth for a few hours, and then I get to call it a day and go home. Where he goes and puts hours more work into this.
We are all doing the things that we love and are good at. You are the comedian, so that is your role. I love to edit and that kind of thing, and my wife is good at promoting and
I would
kind of
literally
thing, so.
be sitting on there, for hours on end, staring at an editor screen, not knowing which button to click, and then I'd probably delete the whole file. We would have to record these things like 800 times. So, all I do is I make my list, I run my mouth. And then I go home and 3D print weird shit that I leave on Nate's desk at work. So, by the way, you have something else that's probably going to show up on your desk in the next few days. It's going to be weird, because that's what I do. I print inappropriate shit on my 3D printer, and I drop it off at work on random desks just to see what happens. And I'm still waiting to get written up or sent to HR's office for dropping off these little hands that have the middle finger up, but I put eyes and feet and a duck bill on it, so I can just say it's a duck, and I'm giving away the fact that I'm giving out my last ducks that day. But in my defense, putting one duck on your desk has allowed me to sell 8 more ducks.
Good.
So I have sold. That's weird. I'm selling ducks now, and
I'll post it on Instagram too.
guess that makes me a kind of a door. I'm a door duck salesman. So, all right, guys. Once again, we always thank you for turning us on. We always thank you for listening to us, and we always thank you for returning to listen to the next absolute shit show of a podcast that we put out, because you never know what we're going to say. You never know what topics we're going to cover, and you never know where exactly that rabbit hole is going to lead. So from the bottom of my heart, maybe below my heart, maybe it's in the conkle area, maybe in the subconkle area, maybe it's in the kidneys, the liver. Fuck it, at this point, it's in the colon. Thank you.
Peace.
Have a week.
All right, folks, so until next time, I'm Matthew,
I'm Nathan.
and we're here reminding you to be yourself, because everyone else is taken.
So fucking inappropriate.